We're right in the peak of hurricane season. So far this year, we've had quite a few hurricanes, or not quite a few hurricanes, quite a few tropical storms. As we've gone down the list to the Hannah name, the H name, and we're looking at our very next tropical storm, which is Isidore, and Isidore has just formed out across the Central Caribbean. Actually, it formed overnight, and it has been named. Again, it's the I name Isidore, so it's our ninth tropical storm of the season. Here is the very latest on Tropical Storm Isidore from the National Hurricane Center as of 2 o'clock Eastern Time, and it basically centers the storm 35 miles west of Jamaica. If you're plotting with us there, you see the coordinates 18.2 degrees north latitude, 78.9 degrees west longitude. It is moving to the northwest at 7 miles an hour. The lowest estimated central pressure is 1,002 millibars. A broad look at the satellite picture of the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico, and you quickly identify Isidore here. This is the island of Jamaica, and again, the center of circulation is just west of the island, but we have some very heavy rain still invading much of the island, and mudslides and flooding could be a major concern over Jamaica, especially in the higher elevations where you get that extra lift, and all of this deep tropical moisture could really create some problems. We'll get even closer and show you that deep convection that's all over the island here. This, of course, is Cuba, and because it is moving to the north and west, we will eventually find improving conditions for the island of Jamaica, but conditions will start to deteriorate for the Cayman Islands and even the western tip here of Cuba. Thus, tropical storm warnings remain in effect for the Cayman Islands as well as Jamaica, even though it will be pulling away. And as it moves closer to western Cuba, hurricane watches have been issued. We think by that time, actually, as it gets closer to the western tip of Cuba, Tropical Storm Isidore will be Hurricane Isidore, given it about a 36-hour time span. So by Friday morning, we very well could be talking about a hurricane moving across this general area. Again, this is western Cuba, which lets you know that we're basically opening the gates toward the Gulf of Mexico. So if this is Isidore here, or the signs of it, as it continues to move off in this direction, all interests along the Gulf Coast, the Southeast Atlantic, need to stay very vigilant and watchful on the progress of this tropical storm. That's why we're here, though. We are definitely monitoring it. Our hurricane expert is here, and he's monitoring it as well as we communicate with the National Hurricane Center. This is the source to get the very latest information on the development of Isidore, because we will definitely keep you posted. And here is Isidore in respect to the rest of the entire Atlantic basin. You don't have too much going on with systems coming off of the West African coast. We have been watching a large area, an elongated area of showers and storms, but believe it or not, this too is a tropical storm. It's Isidore, so, I mean, it's Josephine. It's not a very well organized tropical storm at all, and it continues to move off to the north and northeast at 12, so its forward momentum is fairly quick here. You can see the estimated lowest pressure is higher than what we're finding with Isidore of 1,009 millibars. So here's a look at the global shot, if you will, the Atlantic Basin, the eastern Pacific here. We've been noticing a little something just west of the southern tip here of Baja California. Nothing too threatening to speak about, but I will give you the latest on it. It's a tropical storm, Iselle here. It's moving to the northwest at 5 miles an hour. Its lowest estimated pressure is 1,002 millibars. That's a look at the tropics. Again, we will keep you up to date on the latest, what's going on in the Central Caribbean with Tropical Storm Isidore. And over the lower 48, we're looking at the threat of storms. Some of them could become severe over the high plains here. We're watching you to Chicago, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, even over to Detroit and Cleveland for some stormy conditions. Stay with us. We'll take a break now in about 4 minutes. Local on the 8th.
Robert! Young man! Don't move. Don't move! Hey! Robert!
New Excedrin Quick Tabs melt in your mouth fast for headache relief.
Gotcha!
So you can save your water for other things.
You gotta stop doing this.
You look great.
Thank you.
Oh, you know what? It's your birthday. It's all taken care of.
All right. Here you go. Enjoy.
30 shrimp for your 30th birthday.
I'm 29.
Mix and match 30 irresistible shrimp for $9.99 at Red Lobster. What more could you wish for?
Red Lobster now featuring 30 out-of-this-world shrimp for just $9.99.
At Kelly Services, we provide companies with attorneys, engineers, accountants, even scientists. We also provide schools with the very best qualified, screened, and trained substitute teachers. Because without quality teachers, there would be no attorneys, engineers.
But steady strengthening over the last 12 to 24 hours. The pressure continues to drop ever so slowly, now down to 998 millibars. Let me give you the latest information from the Hurricane Center as of 5 p.m. At that time, the pressure was 999. Recon has since found 998. Winds 60 miles per hour. That's primarily in the eastern sector, the southeastern sector of the circulation. It's about 160 miles east of Grand Cayman Island. It's past Jamaica. You can see the circulation there on the screen in the island of Jamaica. Now, when we go to the satellite imagery, it's getting dark out there. We're starting to see what we think is a reorganization of the circulation. The big bands of heavy thunderstorms near the center have suddenly spread out, and a new series of bands is starting to form around the center, which we think is right there, that little dot. Let me remove that again, and you can see that new band of showers forming to the northwest of Jamaica. Now, there's still very heavy rain over here coming into Jamaica, and some of the strongest winds are on the east side. So even though it's past Jamaica, you can still get some very serious flooding, and we've already seen more than 3 inches of rain fall, at least been reported to have fallen, on the southeastern corner of that island. So overnight it's going to be blustery. Watch out for mudslides and the potential for flooding. Now, it's heading toward the northwest, and because of that we have tropical storm warnings up also for Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, and Cayman Brac. Now, the good news is on the southwest side, the winds are quite a bit weaker, so we're expecting Little Cayman and Cayman Brac to have a bigger impact wind-wise than Grand Cayman. Right now, we're not seeing the winds all that strong at the surface, at least over Jamaica. Now, as it continues to move off to the northwest, we do expect that intensity trend to continue. We expect it to become a hurricane, and that's why the hurricane watch is up for western Cuba as it comes up into here. And some of these areas may turn to hurricane warnings later tonight or tomorrow as the system nears the coast of Cuba. There you see it on the larger picture, and then where are we going to go with it into the Gulf of Mexico? Well, right now, over the next 72 hours, we expect it to go roughly north of Cuba, north of western Cuba, and in the southern Gulf. But beyond that, it's a little bit tricky because depending on the time it takes to get there, there's a trough off the east coast of the United States that's going to come down. Could take it north or could take it slowly west. So it's uncertain beyond 72 hours, but we're fairly confident there up to 72 hours. Tropical storm Josephine in the central Atlantic. You can see it's a little tiny circulation up here moving off. It's caught in the upper level westerlies and will move off. The rest of the Atlantic is quiet. In the eastern Pacific, we see tropical storm Isel. Winds 40 miles per hour, but that has become a low-level cloud swirl with just a few showers around it. So with that, let's get back to the studio with Carl.
Dr. Steve, thank you very much, and we will check back with you once again at 10 minutes before the top of the hour, about 1 hour from now. Well, we have active weather in the middle of the country. There's a big upper trough now pulling out of the west into the middle of the country, and just ahead of that upper trough, we have diverging air and vertical motion in the atmosphere. So with that air rising, we get those big thunderstorms going, and in addition to that, we have convergence at the surface in the form of this front and very warm and very humid air coming up ahead of that boundary. Bottom line, very strong storms are forming now in Kansas and Oklahoma and West Texas. We have severe thunderstorm watches in all of those areas. We'll take you on a little tour now, and some very big storms are fired up here north of Amarillo and to the west of Amarillo, just to the west of 27, working along towards the northeast. We have more strong storms now into western Oklahoma. These cells producing 85-mile-an-hour wind, and again working along towards the northeast at about 25 miles an hour. In Wichita, big storms on top of you. We've had reports of 70-mile-an-hour wind and tennis ball size hail. Watch out in Kansas City, as you could see active weather later on tonight. And we have a few more showers and storms now extending across the Ohio Valley. We'll have more on all this coming up in just a few minutes. Stay tuned.
Change for $1.
Sure.
Introducing the all-new Chevy Avalanche. The only vehicle that changes from an SUV to a pickup.
Thanks.
Chevy Avalanche, Motor Trend's 2002 Truck of the Year. Avalanche, like a rock.
Every hurricane, every season, the Weather Channel has a job to do for you.
We're warning people, and we're helping them prepare.
Keeping you ahead of the storm is what matters to us.
That's why the Weather Channel is here.
Chevy Avalanche, an official sponsor of hurricane coverage on the Weather Channel.
Premium tires don't have to be expensive.
Our 70,000-mile premium Futura touring tires aren't expensive.
They start at just $35.99 each.
$35.99 each is a great deal.
Futuras are some of the best tires made.
They just cost less. Pep Boys, we're car people.
Call 1-800-PEP-BOYS or go to pepboys.com to find the store nearest you.
Baymont Inns and Suites. Worth checking into.
In the 90 years LL Bean has sold outdoor clothing and gear, competitors have come and gone. Many have tried, but none have matched our dedication to quality and service. As others fold or merge, LL Bean remains family-owned and true to doing things right. Today, our commitment to quality products, service, and our guarantee assures you'll always be 100% satisfied.
All about.
This is all right.
When you meet the new family on the block.
Uncle Marcus. I like that.
Watch the Hughley.
Weeknights at 7 and 11, only on UPN 9.
Tonight, it's Out of This World Wednesday with Enterprise.